Hi, I'm Gloria Strode and welcome to Straightforward. Today we are going to be educated by Christy Noullet on chain-free dogs. I have learned so much in the last few weeks, was very excited to meet you, had seen you on City Council before, and just didn't have a clue. We have a group on this end that's saying one thing, a group on this end that's saying another, and if you're not a pet owner, sometimes you're missing all of that. So today I just want you to share with our audience exactly what your mission is and what we need to know about chain-free dogs.
Okay. Chain-free dogs started a little over 2 years ago with a Facebook page and a hope and a prayer. What I wanted to do is to change the laws in Columbus, Georgia. At that time that I started the petition, you were allowed to chain a dog. It was in the ordinance that you were allowed to tether a dog with a chain, but it had to be 10 feet long. That's very common in an ordinance to see 10 feet long chains.
Right.
And that just wasn't right. Chaining a dog, it's known to make them more aggressive. A chained dog is 3 times more likely to bite, and it's usually children under 12 years old.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. That's a huge issue. We've had bites here in Columbus and attacks and issues with dogs breaking off of chains or any type of tether in hurting children and sometimes elderly people as well. So I just thought it was a good idea to go for it, and I did with a petition. 20,000 signatures later, I got to go to City Council. Well, there's a little more in between that, as I'm sure you know. Working with the City Council, Glenn Davis was a huge help.
Right.
He really loves animals and was willing to help better our laws.
Right, and so you started a petition on Facebook, and you got 20,000 signatures about in support of freeing the dogs from chains, changing the ordinance where citizens could no longer chain their dog and leave them in the yard and that type of thing.
Right. Well, you're no longer allowed to chain a dog, and in order to tether a dog, you have to have a thing called a trolley, which is like a runner so that they can run in the yard, and that is what is required now, and that is only allowed for 12 out of 24 hours a day. It's not perfect, but we're getting there. Outside dogs are a little different. They are all required to have proper shelter that is impervious to moisture, which means the doghouse has to be dry. Because a lot of times you see dogs in a doghouse, but they're still wet because the doghouses aren't built very well.
Okay, so we have an ordinance that says the doghouse has to be, or that's your recommendation?
No, ma'am. Our ordinance already has that in it. It's pretty extensive.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
I just think some people are ignorant to that, and I don't mean ignorant in a bad way.
No, ma'am,
I'm just saying misinformed.
You're absolutely
because
right.
days of old, people had their pets. We didn't have a lot of rules because we grew up having a dog. Of course, he wasn't on a chain. He did live outside. He had a house, but I think it was probably built from plywood or something.
Maybe so.
But then he would come up on the porch, and then that's where he really slept at night. But then that was many decades ago. But since then, you're saying that we actually have laws, we have rules that people should be following. And it's your mission to try to educate our community on how we should be caring for our dogs so we don't turn them into aggressive animals.
That's right, and miserable animals. That they also have, you know, a brain and a mind and feelings, and they love and they care, and you see that in their faces. Right here we have, would you like to see this?
No, I've seen those.
Okay.
You showed me in your event on Saturday.
We had a dog named Camo, and that went national, actually. I have a friend in California, and she absolutely helped with 10,000 emails going to our judge here, Judge Joyner, to try to help get this dog. They were going to leave this emaciated, chained up dog in a filthy backyard with no food, water, or shelter. Our animal control was deciding that that was okay. So
they had gone to visit, and they had actually went and did a visit, as we would say in the old social work sense.
Yes, absolutely.
And they looked at the conditions and they decided that it was okay.
Even though the law was absolutely saying that this was not okay. So we had a couple other groups, Animal SOS and a lady from PAWS.
Okay, what is Animal SOS?
Animal SOS is another group here that helps with many different aspects of animal welfare and care.
It's just another animal advocates group, similar to yours but not exact.
Yeah, we're all a little different. We all give in different ways. Yes, Animal SOS is fantastic. So is Paws Humane. You know, they do a lot.
Yes, they do.
They do.
And I've had them on the show as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Okay. Well, then you know all about Paws. Well, Chain-Free Dogs. What my initiative now is to educate, and I'm very excited because I had the opportunity for Animal Law Source out of Atlanta. They wrote the Georgia state law, and they are willing absolutely to come to Columbus, Georgia and educate all of our police officers and law enforcement in general, and also judges, prosecutors, everyone in the city, so that they are all educated on the laws, because right now they are not.
Well, and I have to say that I'm guilty. I had no idea that, of course, I heard a lot about having the dogs on the chain. I understand that part, but making sure that the shelter that you have, the dog house. I know you had a project where you wanted people to come and volunteer and help with building adequate housing, you know, for the animals. You had an event where you were passing out free food, snacks.
Well, you came. Did you enjoy it?
It was fabulous. It really was. It was just a lot of work. I wish you had more volunteers, but that's everything with the good cause. You don't always have all the volunteers that you need. But
that's true.
I mean, you were just in there, and to just see the community come and interact. The video, you were showing the video, that was intended to educate, and you know, and then helping people with understanding what they should be doing for the pets. I think a lot of folks, it's not their intention to cause harm. I just think they don't have the tools or the understanding.
Or the money.
Yes.
Money is a huge deal with an animal. They cost a lot of money. They have to have those vaccinations. Parvo is rampant. Heartworms are everywhere, and you can't get away from it. The only way to get away from that is to go ahead and do your vaccinations, and you find yourself a regular vet. But the problem is that people don't have the money. If you can't afford a dog, don't get one.
Exactly.
A dog,
or if you don't have the time.
That's right, time.
Right.
That's
and
right.
see, for me, I see it as having like a baby,
That's
having
right.
another child. My child is 34. I am a grandmother. I can be a grandparent at my leisure. You know, I can put the days in or not put the days in, but if you have an animal, you have a responsibility to take care of that animal.
That's right, and you can't take an animal just anywhere, so it sometimes is more responsibility than a child. You can't take them to a lot of hotels, and you can't go grocery shopping with them.
Restaurants.
Restaurants, that's right. So you have to plan your entire schedule around them, and people just don't realize the responsibility of it, or it's given as a gift, which is a terrible idea to
Right,
give.
because people need to understand.
That's right.
Okay, well, what we're going to do now, Christy, we're going to take our first break, go to our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by Chalk by Quincy introduces Excellence Redefined, timepieces of the finest technology, luxury, and class with tons of style at chalklifestyle.com. Renal Associates, LLC, a team of physicians dedicated to excellent kidney care with 5 convenient locations to serve you. Stark Avenue, Columbus, Bradley Park, Columbus, Lafayette Parkway, LaGrange, East Burkhalter Avenue, Buena Vista, and Springs Street in Warm Springs. The Framing Factory and Art Gallery, specializing in quality art and framing for all your needs. Original etchings, limited editions, and prints. Call Carlton Dickey today at 706-324-3823 or visit the Art Gallery at 1325 17th Street in Columbus.
Walmart's reason for supporting Thurgood Marshall College Fund is simple. We like to win. And we have been given a lot of exposure to some incredible talent. And we also believe that it's a part of our responsibility to the community to give back. This is a great opportunity to do both. It's been a wonderful experience for us through the years. We've appreciated our partnership. We believe in return on investment, and we have definitely had a remarkable return.
Come meet your new best friend at Paws Humane.
Adopting from your shelter makes sense. You get a great friend checked by our vet. They're fixed, all shots, microchipped, all ready to make you and your family's life better. 4900 Milton Road, Columbus. Paws Humane.
Come meet your new best friend at Paws Humane.
And welcome back to Straightforward. I'm continuing this great conversation with Christy Noullet, who is out in the community doing all that she can to take care of the animals and educate the citizens like myself. We were just clueless. So you have been working not just with Columbus, but you've worked with the people on Fort Benning, and they've put some good things in place, and you were sharing something with us about that at your event. Share with us what Fort Benning is doing, and you thought that if they can do it, they're in the military, then it should be easy enough for us to do.
Absolutely. My work with Fort Benning hasn't been as much as with chain-free dogs, obviously. It's Fort Benning, but I do enjoy going to the shelter, and I'm close with the people who run that shelter as well. They're fantastic. So what I was excited about in Fort Benning, there's two different laws. There's the Fort Benning law, but then there's also the housing law. And those combined are amazing, because in Fort Benning, you are required to have your dogs not just a rabies shot. They are completely required to have all their vaccinations in Fort Benning.
Really?
Yes. So you're not going to get dogs with parvo.
So it's just like your child.
That's
when you have
right.
to present your child shot record. On Fort Benning, you have to present your animals' shot records as well.
Absolutely. And for them, I mean, they also do not allow the tethering, and they're very strict, I want to say, with their animals, and for good reason, for disease, and that's not just for animals, that's for us too. Like I said, the dogs will bite, so we want to keep them happy and healthy. I did put together a checklist. So part of the problem with what I've seen personally with military is that when they get a dog, they don't realize that they have to pay to get that dog to where they're going. I didn't know that. I thought that the military paid for it. Oh no, ma'am, they don't. And it can cost up to $2,000–3,000 if you're going to Germany or
you're transporting. And so the military is not responsible for transporting your pets.
That's
just
correct.
you, your family, and your household goods. Yes,
that's correct. So with the cost of that, and also all of the military bases, they don't allow pit bulls or bully breeds or other breeds that are deemed dangerous.
They don't allow pit bulls or bully breeds. What is a bully breed?
Well, a pit bull, so you'll see, so they don't have to necessarily be tall or real big. They could be lean, but you'll see they'll have the head with, big boxy head and slanted, beautiful eyes. I have one myself. I love her. But they are not allowed on bases across the world.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Now, there are some places that do allow them, but it is difficult. You have to have their vaccinations up to date, and you also have to have a certificate before you leave within 10 days. So there's that 10-day window before you leave, while you're packing up your family, to get your dog taken or dogs taken of to get to the next base. So it's very difficult for military.
So it's a lot of legwork.
It is.
And you were sharing with me in another conversation that we shouldn't just be adopting dogs out to whoever for whatever. We really need to try to look at how we are adopting the dogs.
Absolutely. The problem with that is euthanasia. No one wants to see the animals I don't want to see them get put to sleep. I love every single one of them, but there's nowhere for them to go.
Right.
And being a little more vigilant and watching and listening to what people say before you say, yes, you can adopt this dog. And Fort Benning is very good about that, and Paws seems to be doing well.
Right, because I had them on before. They wanted to make sure that a very active dog was not adopted to someone
in
like
an apartment.
Right. They needed a proper space, or if there was a more mature couple, they might not need a high energy dog. You need a low maintenance dog.
Right.
So they did share that. But you're also educating the people in your community that you work with. I saw some kids at the event. And you were teaching and training them, and I found that just remarkable. And it was like, no, you need to watch this so you'll know this, and then this, you need a certain size snack for a certain size dog. And I was like, are we that particular about dog snacks?
Well, not just size. So you want to be careful, especially with a small puppy. So you've got this little puppy, and he's a baby, like you said. So you want to make sure that you don't give him something too small that he can choke on. He doesn't know any better yet.
Just like a baby.
That's right.
See, I didn't realize that until I actually heard that conversation at your event. And it was like, no, he'll need this type. And I stood there. You didn't know I was watching. And I thought, wow, okay, so it is like having babies.
Absolutely. So the responsibility is huge. Just to bring them home and have their first shots. And
how did you do this? I know your event Saturday. It was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
You had refreshments for the people attending. You had activities for the kids.
Hot dogs.
So, but no, that's a good thing. And you're doing this as a volunteer.
Absolutely.
Where is that support coming from?
Well, some of it comes out of my pocket, but I've had I did a raffle, and that raised quite a bit of money with one very generous sponsor named Jay. And I started out with 1,000 pounds of dog food. My church was helping me to do that, and from Feeding the Valley.
Right.
Right. So I started out with 1,000 pounds of dog food in a prayer, literally. And I just said, Lord, it is in your hands. I don't know what to do from here.
Walk by faith.
That's right.
And not by sight.
That's right.
And you just launched.
That's right.
Because you you knew you were doing it for the right reason, and then
for the glory of God.
And the support would come when you're doing it for the right reason.
That's right.
Right. Well, I could see that you had a diverse group that attended.
We do.
It was phenomenal. It really was.
Thank you.
And it was refreshing, because sometimes only certain segments of people get to be invited to certain things. But your event was whosoever will, let them come.
Right.
And you had little kids to people old as me. Met your aunt, and she was there supporting you, and she's a veteran, a wife of a veteran, a widow.
Yes.
And so she is 100% behind what you're doing in the community.
Yes, she is. She's fantastic. I love her. I love Highland. I started in Highland back with Bethany Worship Center and the Dream Center, and when that changed and I was away from Highland for a little while, my son and I were looking for some volunteer work. I'm like, my son's going to volunteer.
Right.
We went to Valley Rescue Mission. We weren't as well received because I was a female, and it's hard to work with the males.
Predominantly men. Right.
So we found Highland. I walked into the door. We did chicken and rice on a Saturday, and next thing you know, my buddy Randall said, I need you in the kitchen. You have experience. So
really?
That's been almost 5 years, going on 5 years.
And so you've trained your child to give back.
Oh, he always.
Right. And some people, they think you can be in a community and just always take, but never give back. And that, you're not making the community better when you do that.
That's right. That's right. You have to give. I mean, giving makes you feel good.
Yeah, it really does.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It really does.
And it makes people feel good. And
it makes them feel good about themselves.
That's right.
Right. Well, what we're going to do is take our final break, go to our sponsors, and when we come back, I want to talk to you more about what you're doing at Highland.
Okay, great.
We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by Warrior Outreach. Contact Command Sergeant Major Retired Sam Rhodes or Kathy Rhodes. The Hugel Foundation, enriching the community through Christian music support, community outreach, and the Georgia Through Photography Project. For more information, call B at 706-568-6431. Progressive Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1952. The George Ford legacy of high standards continues today in the compassionate and professional services provided. A touch of dignity for those who care. Progressive Funeral Home, 4235 St. Mary's Road, trusted by generations. Best Care, transforming minds and bodies, leading the way in the latest techniques of medical weight loss and wellness. Certified in family medicine and bariatrics, Dr. Blunt is ready to assist in the transformation of your mind and body. Call today, 706-221-6477, or visit bestcarecolumbus.com. East Alabama Endocrinology, educating and caring for those living with diabetes in Alabama and Georgia. 1400 Bradley Lake Boulevard, 3320 Skyway Drive, Suite 602, Opelika. Take charge of diabetes and live your best life. Kia Chambers School Board at Large, the Gold Star Program. Paving the path to success through academic achievement, student empowerment, leadership development, and citizenship. Encouraging all students to reach for the stars. State Senator Ed Harbison, serving the citizens of Georgia's 15th Senatorial District and on the front line for veterans every day. And welcome back to Straightforward. I'm continuing this awesome conversation with the fabulous Christy Noullet. You are such a giver. When it's calling, it shows. When people do things to check the box for their resume or for the photo op, it's obvious to me.
Yes.
Because I look at how the spirit is and really how you move, even when it's really nothing in it for you other than the feeling of knowing that you helped someone. So the Highlands, you've been there, training up your son there that you have to give back. I don't care who it is. And when I tell you, you had a diverse group, it was diverse. I mean, really it was. Mm-hmm. What is it that you're doing? You're just growing that outreach ministry. When I said, well, we need this, you said, oh, we have this. You know, you went from the chicken and rice to serving on Saturday, Sunday. How many meals are you all serving?
Well, chicken and rice serves up to 200, and that's on Saturday. It's a lot of fun. It's a great way to get involved because it only takes a couple of hours.
Is it homemade?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
of course.
we're not.
We have a guy named Cornbread who has been making it, and he's fantastic. I love him.
From scratch?
Of course.
Really?
Of course,
Wow, no
yes.
canned goods, which nothing wrong with those, but it's like a warm home-cooked meal.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. The chicken and rice is, from what I understand, is how Highland really got involved, and they started with that, and it grew from there to having lunch on Sunday, breakfast on Sunday first, and that's done by Miss Jo Ellen, and she does a fantastic job serving about 100 people for breakfast.
Really?
Yeah, we do.
So is it men, women, and children?
Oh my goodness, it's everybody. It's every age group, every skin color, every
and it's free.
Everybody. Oh yeah, of course it's free.
And so the doors just open and people know that they
Yes.
can come there and eat.
That's right. And
No
they
strings
do.
attached.
No, no
Police
strings.
is not there. Child support is not there.
No, we're not out to no.
Right. No, and sometimes people will not. And I worked with the Census Bureau. And sometimes people are trying to live below the radar for whatever their issue is, and so they will not come
That's right.
to a place.
Well, you
So
are safe at Highland.
You're safe. I just want people to
absolutely.
know that in case they're watching.
No, yes,
So
please
we're
come.
not calling anybody. It's just that we
That's
want
right.
to come and show you love and make you feel welcome,
That's
like
right.
you're at home.
If you're in a wheelchair, if all you have is a ripped up T-shirt and yoga pants, we don't have any problem with that. We don't judge you. We're just happy that you come and hang out with us. And
Okay, so we're doing chicken and rice on Saturdays. We're doing breakfast on Sunday morning.
yes.
And then
lunch. That's my big thing. I love it. I feed about 200, or we feed about 220 people every
lunch.
Yes, we do. And a lot of it is, some of it's taken out for people who
Right.
are shut-ins and
Right.
and such. But and we do barbecue. We do all kinds of things, just depending on what I can get from the food bank. To tell you the truth, But,
Really?
yeah.
And so you're taking it there and you're preparing it.
Oh yes.
So it's nice hot food again.
absolutely
Not sandwiches and chips.
Now we have done that, but
Right.
that's not a
That's not an every week, everyday
no,
thing.
No, but you
Right.
know that people seem to really enjoy that, to get a
Well,
nice big
sometimes
sub.
you want
Yeah.
something different. Sometimes
do.
even we do that in our own homes.
Absolutely,
But it's
absolutely.
not always cold food.
No.
Is what I'm going
no,
after.
No, it's
Right.
hot food. Dr. Nardi was there this past weekend, and he always does taco salad, and everybody
Really?
enjoys
I love that.
Yes,
Taco salads.
it's amazing.
And so who is Dr. Nardi?
Dr. Nardi is a dentist in town.
Really? And so he's volunteering.
He brings sometimes, maybe his family, but mostly it's his office members, him and all.
Really?
Yeah, they do. We love to have them. There's so many different churches, Christ Community, Pierce Chapel, Edgewood Baptist. I mean, there's just a giant list. And the bigger the list grows, the less I have to cook.
Right. Yeah, because
Not
they're
that I don't
coming
love
in.
it.
I understand what you're saying. So you're having other churches support.
They do.
And so it takes some of the burden off of the 2 or 3, 4 or 5, because you are a volunteer and it's always the same people doing all the work all the time. But now you have cast the net wide enough where some of the other churches are coming and they're providing in fellowship.
That's right. So I will cook 1 to 3 times a month, depending on summertime. A lot of times we can't
People are going on vacation.
Right, but
Right.
I love it. I love the people. I love the atmosphere. I love our pastor.
And who's your pastor?
His name is Rob Strickland.
Okay.
He's incredible. He has his wife and his kids, and everybody's kind. He actually lives in Highland in the neighborhood. They chose to
Live where they serve. Isn't that something?
Yes.
Because we have gotten away from that in many instances.
Yes.
Where the church is different from where people live.
That's
so
right.
he actually lives in the neighborhood.
They do, just
Right.
a few houses.
And what is the name of the church and then the address? I want to make sure we get that in before we run out of time.
Okay, it's Highland Community Church. It's 3408 Fifth Avenue.
Okay.
And that's in Columbus. It's in North Highland. So.
In North Highland. I
Yep.
want to make sure that you say that. No, because sometimes people want to go to the more established churches.
Oh, we're established. We're
yeah,
just
but
not
fancy. That's what I'm saying. Where they can be all dressed up in all of their Sunday regalia.
You can do that if you want to.
But with you, it's whosoever will come
Yes.
as you are.
Absolutely.
Everyone is welcome.
Yes,
that's
Highland.
what you all are pushing.
That's Highland. Hope for Highland.
Hope for Highland.
That's right.
Right. And so how long has your pastor been there?
Oh my goodness, I don't have an answer to that.
So he
but
was there
it
when you came?
Oh yes, he's been there since the beginning.
Really?
It started with a few people.
Is he
and
from
grew.
Columbus or came from somewhere else?
Columbus.
Okay.
And his
So
mom.
he knew where he was going when he decided to live in the community.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because sometimes you'll see him moving around. We have missionaries from other places
Yeah.
moving around in the community. So he was very much aware of where he was going and who he was going to be serving.
That's right.
Right. So when you all came and got on board and you just started growing, helping him to grow the ministry.
Well, they were pretty well established by the time I got there. It's such a good ministry that people want to be there. So we are really excited to continue to serve, and we want to see you, and we want to see everyone come in. I would love to see you in your yoga pants.
Oh,
just
yeah.
come visit.
Yeah, well, I'm a member of Hosey Chapel,
Okay.
CME Church downtown
Yes.
near the Liberty. And of course, I have an awesome pastor, and we, have some great things going on there as well.
course.
But it's always good to visit
It is.
and fellowship with others, just to see
right.
what they're doing, because it might be something we can all do together.
Something else we can volunteer for.
Exactly. Where will we get the time?
I don't
Especially
know.
you.
No.
I tell you, but I really applaud you for all of your work and your
Very
personal
kind.
sacrifice. Because people, you can always get more money, I tell people, but you can't always get more time. So you're giving so much of your time in your life, where you could probably be on the beach or something, but you're giving back to the community. I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
We'll have to have you back. You've educated me. I got to learn more. So you just have to give us a little time for the rest of us to catch up with what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Again, how can people reach you?
Okay, you can reach me on Facebook.
Okay.
Chain Free Dogs is very accessible. It's public.
Okay.
You can find me there, message me there. If you see a chained dog and you're afraid, a lot of people are fearful
Right.
to call. So if you are afraid, just send me the address. If you can get a picture, I
And
will
you'll
help you.
take it from there.
Sure
Okay.
will.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming, and we'll have you back again.
Thank you so much.
All right. This has been Straightforward. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Until next time, be blessed.